Hello, welcome to the last lesson before we start the project. In this case, we're going to try and color this kind of bust. And well, what I wanted to do is to teach you some basic notions about how they usually color these kind of drawings regarding the screen and the digital format. In case of the hair, it's something you can choose afterwards, and well, as you can see, I chose 3 color tones from the base color of the hair, and from that, what I'm doing is a gradient from darkest to lightest, and with the lightest I paint into the darkest and vice versa. This way I create these kind of highlights, which are the ones that bring luminosity and volume to the hair. Where I want the light to be focused, I lighten with the lightest tone, and then in case I want to darken it, I go to the clearest part of the hair and make little lines that let me add depth. As I said in previous lessons, hair in this type of illustrations is something that has quite importance, and it's what usually differentiates the main characters from secondary characters, because a more exotic hairstyle can be the difference between them. A character with long blue curly hair won't be the same as a girl with short, straight brown hair. It's a matter of looks. With regard to what I'm doing is basically what I said before, lighten light zones with the lightest brown and add depth with the darkest tone. In this case, I'm using brown, but later I have the intention of changing colors to keep testing. It's the ease of working with digital program. It gives you the chance of having that freedom of changing options during the project without having to lose part of it. I'm going to continue with all the process until I'm done with each hair zone. Because the important thing is when your work is done and the results are good. Now what I'm doing is changing some tones, adding some lighter tones towards yellow and darker towards reddish tones. See, now I'm adding these highlights, small fractions with that orange tone we just created. And by the way, I'm using one of the basic brushes whose opacity varies depending on the pressure you make on the tablet. As you see, I'm darkening with the dark tone I obtained. These are very punctual tones, and well, in this case, the direction of the light would be from above to below. But as I was explaining with the eyes, with hair you can also allow yourself the luxury of applying all the creativity you're able to generate with your drawing instantly. If you want to experiment with secondary colors that don't have much to do with the original palette, you are free to do so. After creating these tones of darkness and depth, we can vary the tones and lighten and try different ranges on the same tone, the same color zone, So this way you can get a much richer color range and widen the palette in order to enrich the final result. Right now I'm trying to lighten it as much as I can. I'm restricting dark zones a bit, but well, it's a matter of trying, and in my case right now I started with the brown tones, but maybe in a future, I don't know, I like to try how the lightning I applied looks in different colors or different parameters of saturation, etc. And Photoshop is a tool that will let me modify and experiment as much as I like, because Command or Control U is the tool that will let us easily get this type of variations that will be helpful because, for example, if we're working with something and they ask us for any kind of variation, this will facilitate that the client sees the wide range of possibilities you can offer just by changing the color. Because it may be possible that this orange, brown, red hair tone that I got looks better in a purple tone, or blue, or pink, or yellow, and I still don't know. It's a matter of having a base, and at that base, apply everything that's visible. And well, in this case, I illuminated too much, and I don't like the tones much. So it's trial and error over and over again. You also have to consider that you can work in different layers, and in case you like the lighting of any of the characters you have in mind, just keep trying and experimenting how they could obtain it. I'm now trying to see the change I could get from filters. There you've seen the change after everything we've been adding. And well, I just grouped all the layers I had before, and as I was saying, this here, hit Control U, and here you can see the vast variety of things we have to tweak: lightness, saturation, hue. Then you can try different filters and see what you like the most. What I usually do too is erase the banks so the eyes can be seen clearly and support the final results that we get. I'm going to finish coloring the face. I switched to a lower layer and I'm darkening the skin with a slightly saturated tone. For example, for the bangs shadow, what I did was to use a brush with smooth edges, and that's what I'm using in order to make the shadow smoother. You see, you can try inside the same range of colors, like the pinks we're trying near the nose, the top part of the mouth, and eyes, using a smoother brush to try and add shadows or bring some color to those tones. You can also lighten using other colors like yellows, pinks, oranges. This way you enrich the drawing more. And well, now it's a matter of adding and testing. Right now I'm trying two tones on her face. And as I'm saying, smooth brush and pressure responsive brush. The one that the more pressure you put on it, the thicker the stroke is, and vice versa. I'm going to go on to the eyes now to make a little test to see how it would result. And as I said, I'm going to use first a flat one. I'm going to put a gradient on it. From the gradient, I'll go on to enlighten. And now to add the rest of the details. I'm going to erase the bottom so it doesn't interfere with the top drawing. I paint the pupils using the same tone as the iris of the character. In this case, it's blue. So I'll paint them blue to try and innovate a bit. And now introducing some more details using the different tones we can find. You can play with multiply and screen blending modes to create lights and shadows. In this case, I'm not going to hang about much more with the eyes. I'm not going to complicate them anymore. And for example, in this case, that they're cold tones, I'm working with purples and dark blues, and as I'm telling, it's just a matter of trying a bit until you find a way of applying them you like the most. The sparkle in the eyes is very important because it's a fundamental and characteristic feature of this style, and a recurring one. You can also try blending modes in order to see different styles. The change of the tone of the eyes is something to have in mind with Control U, I remind you. And well, we have finished the head more or less. Our next lesson will start with our project. So I'm going to develop a personification of the three girls from the three different companies inside Freepik company, which would be Toothpad, Freepik, and Flat Icon. And I'm going to add PicTab, which is a Google Chrome extension for searching for free resources so you can look for them yourselves. So this would be all, and with this I'm going to try and represent the different personalities and ages each of them can be. And a little more to add. I hope you liked this lesson. Only a couple details left here about the line, enlarge and erasing the excess. And well, see you next time.